GH Field, Arrowhead, and play in front of them. Appreciated their support. And then as far as the team went, I thought there were some really good things that took place. And as far as Josh's situation goes, it's a personal issue. I'm not going to talk about that. I did a little bit last night and then leave it at that. But I thought Jaylen stepped in and did a nice job there. And as I mentioned that it's a tribute to Andy Heck and the way he rotates all of his guys and make sure that they can play. And Jaylen's played a couple different spots, both sides at the tackle, the guard, both sides at the guard. So he's busy during practice hitting all these things. But and offensively, again, it was good to see Patrick and Kels hook up for a few nice catches there, and then getting Hollywood in the end zone. Hollywood's a good player. We got a lot of guys, and we're going to end up here adding one with Rasheed. So it's hard to get everybody going, but I thought Patrick did a nice job of getting everybody involved and spreading things around. I thought Matt Nagy had a unbelievable game plan for the guys, and they bought into it. And he and Joe kind of worked that thing together and put this thing together and come up with stuff and with Andy Heck and the rest of the guys. So it was strong defensively. I love the transition that Spags made there. So we had a couple drives that were at the beginning, and he worked through that and kept everybody together, and made a couple little adjustments there, and guys tightened up the back end and kind of some of those gaps inside. But I thought his game plan was spot on. That's an explosive offensive group. We knew that going in. They've scored a ton of points and in all their games, and so we knew it'd be a big challenge. And I thought the guys handled that well. I thought the coaches that were involved there did a great job with it. Brendan Daly doesn't get enough credit for working with the linebackers. He's kind of stuck in the middle between the secondary and that D line. But Bolton, I thought, played really well. Got a ton of tackles in there and made some big plays that could have been extended, even though they had gained a little bit of yardage. They could have been even bigger than that, and he was able to snag them. So, um, and then special teams wise, I mentioned it was great to get Butker a field goal right there at the end, and he drilled that son of a gun, which was great. And we only had one punt, so Ariza didn't have a very busy day there, but did fine with it. So, and then I thought the return groups were good. Nico again had a couple nice returns there. So, field position is always a big thing, especially against good teams, and that includes all three phases. But special teams got a lot of that responsibility. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
We'll go first to Pete Sweeney.
Hey, Coach. You got Rasheed Rice back this week, 6 weeks off of practice. What does the ramp up period look like for him? And do you have optimism that, he could play just the full load of snaps and maybe he would have been able to had he been going?
Yeah, listen, I know he's been working like crazy. We can't, the rule states that we can't work with him, but I know he's been, as coaches, and, but I know he's been working out hard. And I think it's just a matter of getting him back in the swing. I'm not going to tell you, I've got to see it to kind of work through it, but I know he's in good shape. That's the one thing I do know. And I think that'll be important, him coming back in there and getting with Patrick and kind of getting on the same page as, and that whole deal. But we'll just see how all that works out. We haven't put the game plan in yet, so we're working through all that now.
We'll go next to Nate Taylor.
Hello, Andy. I have two questions for you. My first is when you went back and rewatched the film, just what impressed you most about Jalen's performance?
Well, I thought he was just solid. I thought he did a nice job. It wasn't he was going against an all-pro player and 50% of the time. So it was that's a tough ask without playtime. But he handled. I love the way he handles himself during the week and how he practices fast and aggressive during the week and he doesn't he doesn't, never hangs his head and I'm not playing or done this or that. He just gets in there and bears down. And so I think that paid off for him once this thing happened. And he was solid in the run game too, run and pass. It was he had a productive day.
Yeah. And Andy, I know you said you're not going to discuss the personal situation with Josh, but based on your conversations with him, do you anticipate when he'll be back with the team, or is that still sort of unclear at this point?
Yeah, just to take care of business. You know, that's how those things work.
We'll go next.
You having a barbecue, Nate? Huh?
Nah, it's just nice outside, Coach.
All right.
We'll go next to Sarin.
And I'll have a couple as well, Sydney. Coach, just Travis Kelce. I mean, I know you've talked about how much he worked at, getting in shape and everything, but he seems like, 2, 3 years younger almost, right? In the way, I mean, his first catch, he made a nice little cut and turn. We didn't see a lot of that. I'm just curious, one, I mean, do you see that same kind of, a lot more spring in his step this year than he had last year? And two, was there maybe, I know you never talk about injuries, in the middle of things, but was he maybe battling some things that, I know everybody's dinged up and banged up during the course of the year, but was there maybe some injury things that were maybe nagging that, nobody wanted to talk about at the time, but maybe now you could reveal to us?
You're talking about last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not that I recall, but we've been giving him a lot of Geritol, and he really has, progressed. Like,
Oh, that's it. Okay, the Geritol. All right, I thought maybe there was going to be more. All right, and then I know you like to when you win the coin toss, to defer. I think everybody understands why the chance to get the double possessions. Were you surprised, with the Lions move, and did that serve to maybe motivate the team a little bit that they weren't going for that they were trying to make a statement, so to maybe make a statement back?
yeah. So it's not the first time they did. That was the third time they had done that this year. So we anticipated something like that possibly happening, and but the guys they're good with that. I, I don't know if it was motivation or not, but our guys saw, they knew that they had done it before, so it wasn't a big surprise.
Right, and then seizing on the opportunity, getting it, you basically got the score the way it was. How important was that in the game to be able to go from 10-6 down to 20-10, basically with just a few seconds that they were only able to possess the ball?
Yeah, yeah, that was a positive, definitely. Are you talking about the drive in the second half, the first drive, the
The,
second
the,
half?
yeah, the
Yeah,
just being able to do. I mean, I know that's what everybody
yeah,
needs to do: get that touchdown going into the half and get another one coming
yeah.
out.
No,
How
no,
much?
absolutely. That's huge, and you're right. The stop before the half was also big. We ended up taking a knee there at the end, but with just a few seconds on the clock. But that drive to be able to stop him there was big, and then the drive before that, where we were able to get a score, was good. So, and then obviously coming out the second half, you're always striving for that. You try to come out with a purpose, um, and the guys did a great job of executing and getting a score.
Well, let's go next to Nick Jacobs.
And Sydney, I'll have a follow-up if I can, please. Andy, to go from Monday night to where, you have the 13 penalties and it's a late night, you guys are flying back, to be able to match the challenge this week and execute the way you did, have 0 penalties on the score sheet, and for them to match the physicality of the Lions, what do you feel like that says about this team?
Yeah, Nick, listen, I thought the officials let the guys play. I'm not saying I agreed with everything that went on, but I thought they were very fair on how they did it. And and so they could have called us on some, and they could have called them on some, and they kind of let it play out and let the teams really show off what they've got. So, which I think is good. I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good for the fans. It's good for within reason, within reason. But and then we had to tighten some things up, Nick. I mean, all 13 of those calls weren't wrong. I mean, that's not what I'm saying here. We had to tighten some things up, and I thought our guys did that. They worked on it during the week, and just making sure their fundamentals and technique were right. And half of it is moving yourself into a position where you can execute. And and so and that comes down to footwork and speed and angles. And you've got to do that. I mean, those are things that you can take charge of and work on.
And then from a run game perspective, what do you hope the offensive line and the running backs take away from being able to take on the challenge of a physical front like that?
Yeah, well, I thought Pop ran hard, and I thought he was accurate with his reads. And then when Kareem came in, I thought the same thing, powerful, and it starts with the O line. I mean, they've got to have things rolling up front, but they played physical. Our offensive line played physical against a good defensive line, and a defensive front, because I mean those linebackers aren't tiny guys either. They're big old guys back there and physical. So, but I thought they played well. There are things we can do better all the way around. I mean, that's not there's places that we need to tighten up and make it better than what we had. But overall, I'd tell you it was a pretty good job.
We'll go next to Jesse Newell.
Hey Andy,
I just,
Pat mentioned last night that the receivers get along really well on this team. I just wondered what you've seen kind of from inside the building as far as that group and how they've built up chemistry over time.
yeah, Jesse, I tell you a little bit like this is what I meant when I said after the game that they having one come back into the fold there and be able to play, and then Rasheed coming back in the building, period. They kind of felt whole. And that's because they like each other. I mean, they get along, they hang out together, they work together on their route combinations, and they're always talking about stuff to get better there. And they've got a good friendship, which will be needed now because we got more guys and we only have one football. So you want them to help support each other, and I think that ends up being important. I think Juju has a big part of that, and he's a uniter, and he's still a tough guy and all that bit that goes with it, a good receiver. But he's been around, so I think he keeps it all together there.
Okay, Coach, we've got two left. Let's go to Matt Derrick.
Hey, Coach. I saw, at the locker room after the game, you came up and gave a big pat on the back to Harrison Butker. Um, what did you see on that? Have you seen literally learned anything on that first PAT miss that he had? And two, do you feel like he needed a little bit of encouragement at this point, especially, getting out there and getting that field goal and being consistent the rest of the night?
Yeah, listen, I just thought I'm a big Harrison Butker fan, so I think he's a great kicker, and if not the best, one of the best clutch kickers in the National Football League. So it was just good. I know how that thing goes. I know the swing. I understand all that, and sometimes that ball looks nice and fat, and other times it looks a little tiny. And so, but the first one he didn't hit very good on the PAT, and then he came back and finished strong the rest of the night. And I thought getting a field goal in there, I think that's big. I mean, listen, we're all human, and a little pat on the back. You're being nice on that, but a nice pat on the back um, it was a positive.
And you talked with Nick a little bit about the run game, but your running backs had, I believe, 74 yards last night. You haven't had a game where that they collectively have gotten over 100. Is there more that you're looking for from that game, especially to maybe take the load off of some of the things that Patrick has done to kind of augment those running, at least the running numbers?
Yeah, Pat had the 30 yards rushing. So, um, listen, he's going to rush no matter what. I mean, he's going to run the ball. There's just times when where if something doesn't look right, or maybe there's a pressure here or there, that he's going to take off and go. And so, I mean, I get that. It's important that he does like he did last night, where he got down on the ground and not take the big hits. With the exception of one run there, he was able to get down and try to limit the hits on him. So, um, and then listen, I thought our guys ran the ball well. I thought they had a good night at that. And, there was a mix. So when you do this RPO game, uh, you're calling runs, but some of them turn into passes. That's the beauty of the thing. And so maybe your numbers are down just a little bit, but they end up increasing.
In the electrifying aftermath of the Kansas City Chiefs' 30-7 rout of the Detroit Lions, all eyes were on Travis Kelce, whose heart-stopping tumble left fans gasping. The tight end, known for his acrobatic plays, caught a pass from Patrick Mahomes and attempted a daring leap over a Lions defender, only to flip upside down and crash hard on his head. The play set up a crucial touchdown, but it was Kelce's health that sparked immediate concern. At 36, the NFL star's resilience is legendary. But this fall was a stark reminder of the game's brutality. On the sidelines, Coach Andy Reid, often portrayed as a stern tactician, revealed a softer side. During a Lions timeout, he approached Kelsey, gently rubbing the back of his helmet in a fatherly gesture that spoke volumes. Their bond, often scrutinized after heated sideline exchanges, shone through in this quiet moment of care. Mahomes, too, checked in with a playful social media post, captioning a clip of the fall with, "You good?" The camaraderie was palpable, a stark contrast to rumors of tension between Kelsey and Reid. In a post-game ESPN interview with Scott Van Pelt, Kelsey brushed off any talk of discord, praising Reid's leadership. "Coach Andy did a great job getting these guys ready," he said, beaming about the team's dominant performance. "We put up 30 points on that defense. That's not easy." Kelsey's enthusiasm hinted at a team on the cusp of something special, leaving fans eager for what's next. Despite past clashes, including a fiery moment caught on camera, Kelce insists his bond with Reid is unshakable. "I love that guy," he told the Kansas City Star. Could this victory mark a turning point for the Chiefs' dynamic duo? Only time will tell.